Ray Heilman, our final speaker for today. Ray is a brand strategist, a designer, and a creative contrarian. For instance, the name of his company is Up Yours Design. Ray helps solo professionals and corporate escapees to build bold brands. We've scheduled Ray last today because he blends strategic clarity with a sharp sense of humor, and I thought that would be a nice way to end our day. So today he's going to give us a bit of an identity crisis and help us to change our perception of leadership, all through PowerPoint. Let's go, Ray.
Yeah, thank you. I'm really excited to be a part of this, and I'm really excited to be here to share some ideas with all of you. And I think the things I'm going to talk about are actually really going to build well off of what Abigail was just talking about. So I'm just excited to be alongside this really accomplished group of people that you heard from today. There have been executive coaches, leadership consultants, leadership development experts, people who are authorities on leadership. I am a brand specialist. I don't have the word leadership in my job title or my description. I run a one-man design studio called Up Yours. So let me tell you why I'm here. It's because I see this deep connection between branding and leadership. The recent Global Leadership Report talks about what they call the growing leadership credibility crisis. They report that trust in immediate managers dropped from 46% in 2022 all the way down to 29% in 2024. And it concluded by laying out some behaviors that leaders needed to embrace in order to fix the crisis. Things like being purpose-driven, being human-centered, displaying authenticity in their actions. I thought that was interesting because those are the exact same types of things that people want out of brands nowadays. They want to see leaders and brands having this strong internal compass that guides how they show up rather than being like a weather vane that just points to wherever the wind is blowing. So that's the connection I see between branding and leadership. It's this foundational piece that I just call humanity. Humanity that is thoughtfully cultivated and effectively conveyed. And you first have to know how to get in touch with it. And this is why I love branding, because I see it not just as business strategy, but rather as creative liberation, as an inner exploration. It's deep work that often leads to these intense moments of clarity that help people to better understand the value that they bring to the world and how to express it, which then naturally attracts people who resonate with their message. So today, I'd like to take you on a journey of perspectives that will help you to reveal some of your own magic and to naturally attract those people who resonate with you. Because you don't start by building, but by revealing things that are already there. So I'm going to ask a question, and I'd like you to consider it for a moment, to think of an answer. And I do invite you to share an answer in the chat if you have one, and let me know if you have any trouble reading my slides. Okay, here it is. So take a few moments. Is there a number that comes to mind? One, I resonate with that. Yeah. I'm not sure that there is a right answer. It kind of depends on how you define these things. 0, I like that. Yeah. Words have definitions, obviously, that you can look up. But they also have meanings, that are unique to each of us and our own personal experiences. Love is an example of a word with lots of meanings. Romantic love, love between parent and child, love of friends, self-love. The word lead can also be fraught with meaning. Okay, for instance, I'm going to share a statement that came up while working on this presentation. And I'm sharing it because it was something that I had trouble wrapping my head around. So put on some tie dye because we are about to go a little far out. Now, I realize that doesn't seem very far out. It's pretty reasonable, actually. If you're here watching this, you've probably even had that thought. But if we look a little more closely at it, there is a bit of a paradox. I want to lead a meaningful life. Well, who is leading whom? You are leading the life and you are the life, right? It's like driving a car while also being the car. It's a really weird concept, this idea of you being inside of you. Like, who's in charge? So here's how I reconciled that. I'll give you a moment to read it. What if the goal isn't control, it's relationship? It's aligning with each moment instead of trying to force life into some shape. Because leadership is relationships with other people and also with yourself. Your life is also leading you. Where? Wherever you decide to go together. And that leads to my next big question. And this is a question that I'd love for you to take time later to reflect upon, because it's a great way to keep yourself oriented on your path. Okay, here it is. So sit with that for a moment. If future you is a great leader, then what are they asking the present you to start doing today? I propose that future you is already a great leader. And now I'm going to explain why vision, attention, and boredom are key to getting there. Starting with vision. Because if you don't know where you're going, it's going to be hard to lead other people, especially if you want to lead them somewhere better. So that's why vision is not optional. It's having this clear idea of what that better place is, this thing larger than yourself. Then your vision becomes this force that pulls you forward. So you've got to know where you want to cast your line. And if you don't have some grand vision yet, that is okay. Leadership starts with questions, not answers. So follow your curiosity. Ask lots of questions of the world, of yourself. And find the space in your life to ask these questions by being the shepherd of your own attention. Attention is what gives you opportunities to ask those vision-shaping questions. And attention is very much under attack by the world around you right now. Brilliant scientists and researchers work around the clock to invent new ways to steal your attention from you, right? And it's so insidious because it doesn't feel like theft. It feels more like seduction. A little scroll here, a notification there. It's comforting. And you feel like you're in control as you look at your phone and choose what to give your attention to. But your feeds shape your thoughts by deciding what to even show you and when to show you. Do you ever pick up your phone to do something and immediately forget what that was because some notification had popped up on your screen? It happens to me all the time. And I have most of my notifications turned off. And the ripple effect of these distractions is so massive. All these other precious things, those limited resources like time, energy, focus, creativity, they just slip through your fingers, right? So I offer you this perspective. And this is something that I'd love for you to take home and think about as you go through your day-to-day life. Take a screenshot, write it down, consider it often. In today's world, being bored is a radical act. And it's so key to shepherding your attention and to growing your vision. The people who control what you see are the people with the real power. So take it back. Be bored. And I know that can be hard. It can feel like this itch you have to scratch, like this emptiness you have to fill. I remember years ago going to the Apple store to get my phone fixed. The repair person took it in the back, and twice while they were gone, I reached into my pocket for my phone. That was when I first realized that maybe I wasn't in control. So learn to really sit with boredom, to sit with yourself. And you'll find that it's empowering to not gift your attention to the algorithm. You'll find that it creates space where you can really work on that relationship with future you. And you'll find your most interesting ideas because those tend to whisper to you, right? So you have to be available to hear them. Here's something to consider. There are 100,000 active subreddits, okay? And the 11th most popular, just out of the top 10, is called Shower Thoughts. Some of you might even subscribe to it. As defined by the community, a shower thought is the type of thought you might have while carrying out a routine task like showering, driving, or daydreaming. In other words, it's the hilarious, interesting, and profound places that your mind goes when you are separated from your devices. 34 million people subscribe to this, which illustrates how much people crave original thinking. So let that be you. Think your original thoughts, then go one step further, write them down. It's said that the real learning from our experiences comes from reflecting on those experiences. I happen to agree with that. When I began my regular practice of walking, thinking, and writing, I started to really unearth my own unique ideas, develop them, and see that they could be helpful to others. This habit, without even specifically setting out to do this, it helped me to reveal my own purpose and my own vision that were already within, just buried. I want you to walk away from this knowing that you have what you need inside of you already, all the raw materials, that future you already knows what matters. They just want you to listen. It only takes a little bit of time working with yourself to begin unearthing and refining those raw materials into sparkling gems. It only takes a little separation from distraction to allow your mind to wander and to generate ideas worth exploring. And the more you do this, the more you can develop and articulate your own thoughts and ideas, the more you will be in touch with your own vision, with where you and your life want to go together. The more you do this, the more courage you will find to walk in the direction of your purpose. Because that's what leadership really is. Not just authority or charisma. Those things have their place, but they ring hollow without the real substance of being so committed to something larger than yourself, of being in such clear relationship with your own path that others want to walk it with you. Then, as you forge this path through the wilderness, you may look over your shoulder and realize that you're not walking alone anymore. That without explicitly setting out to be a leader, you may find that you've become one. So get bored. so that you can invest your attention, so that you can clarify your vision. The world full of people showing up with curiosity, vision, and humanity, that leadership crisis I mentioned before won't stand a chance. So I'm going to end on a question, and it's a question that I've already asked, and I'd love to know if your thoughts have changed. So here it is again. Feel free to put an answer in the chat. Feel free to send me an answer via email. I'd love to know your thoughts. If future you is a great leader, then what are they asking the present you to start doing today? If you enjoyed my far out perspectives and found them useful and thought-provoking, I am going to begin posting YouTube videos soon where I go deep into all sorts of topics like this about branding, business, identity, storytelling, world building, all that kind of stuff. And my thesis is that branding has a branding problem. It's often misunderstood. I mean, speaking of words with lots of meaning. So my objective is to provide a better understanding of how it can help you grow, how it can help you turn your business into freedom instead of just another job. So that QR code will take you to my YouTube channel if you want to subscribe now so you can catch my first video when it goes live. And the channel also has links to my website and my LinkedIn page. So please feel free to connect. You are muted.
It's terrible when your guests have to tell you you're muted. Thank you. I love that so much. I have so many takeaways, not many questions, but my takeaway page actually has a front and a back. The last one I really loved, which is branding has a branding problem.
Yeah.
Don't you find that as an uphill battle? I mean, what will be the solution to that?
It's terrible. It's starting a YouTube channel where I can talk about it. You know, it's the educating people about it is part of it. You know, I went through a phase where I tried to avoid using the word branding as much as possible because people would get so confused about it. But I decided that that's not the right way. Because there are people who get it, and you know, I'm talking to those people, and the ones who maybe aren't getting it and want to know more. There's just so much to explore with it because it's, to me, branding lives at the intersection of those things I mentioned: storytelling, self-expression, psychology, world building. And so there's just so much to delve into to kind of grasp what it is and how powerful it is and how it can help you, and why it's not just, you know, a corporate checklist item, but like deeply personal and thoughtful, and it's a bridge that connects what you offer with the people, with what your, you know, ideal audience needs.
I think what you've just presented to us links so nicely with what Dr. Joseph talked about earlier that it looks like we planned that. It was amazing.
Right.
And also Margaret Spencer, who was our first speaker this morning, she talked to us about how we develop I am statements rather than I lead statements. It's more of a reflective, like, who am I, that future leader kind of thing. Like, what is the vision for who I am? And then that naturally will bring or translate into who I lead or how I lead. So very, very interesting. You got a whole bunch of good kudos, congratulatory kudos over here in chat, right?